Hello, everybody, and today I am talking about Legion of the Superheroes. So this might be my favorite movie of DC for 2023. That's weird to say, I know, but there are things I actually really like about this movie. But if I gotta pick the winner, the Blue Beetle for being the best DC movie of 2023, since 2023 was a wild year for superhero movies. But the animated stuff, it was doing good. Justice League Warworld was alright. Batman the Demon That Came to Gotham was good. Elseworlds. But Legion of the Superheroes, I don't know. I feel like this movie could have been called Supergirl in the Legion of the Superheroes. But it's next to the Tomorrowverse. And it's basically about Supergirl teaming up with the Legion of the Superheroes from the 31st century. And they were mainly shown in the animated series. I think they got their own show, but I think it got canceled. But I think we also see him in the Justice League versus the Fatal Five, which was cool. And they're in Justice League Unlimited. So that's my history with the Legion of the Superheroes. But what I really like about this movie is it actually explores Supergirl's origin, as she's having a race with her mom, and they're having a good time. But it's interrupted when it turns out the place they're on, Argo City and Krypton, are about to explode. This takes place when Superman was getting launched, and Kara wonders why her mom's been gone so long. But it turns out she made a pod just for Kara. She tried to make others, but for other people, but they just didn't have time. And Kara's mom basically sacrifices herself, and Kara's launched into space. And it kind of goes like the rest of the Supergirl story, where Supergirl appears too late as Superman has already grown up. And we do get a flash forward of that when we see a Supergirl, as Supergirl's trying to adjust to the city. I think this is Central City, but it's interrupted by Solomon Grundy. I didn't think we'd see him again, but we saw him in the Long Halloween for Batman. And what I really like is this scene where while Supergirl's fighting Solomon Grundy, Batman shows up, and it's quite cool. Jensen Ackles as Batman is still awesome. Superman shows up, and we get a cameo from The Flash. And I do like the scene where Batman and Superman talk. Batman saying how he doesn't trust Supergirl. I just love that monologue Batman gives. But Supergirl doesn't like how Batman doesn't trust her, and she flies crying. But then Superman and Supergirl have a little talk. But I'm just going to only say this, but we did get a quick scene of The Flash, which was cool. It was just a quick cameo, but Superman and Supergirl have a talk of how Superman would just sit on his barn and just vent if life ain't going well for him. And Supergirl is just saying how she doesn't belong on Earth, but Superman's just like, you do. But he thinks she could find someone that will definitely help her out of her comfort zone, and that's where he pulls out a device from the future, and it opens a portal, and that's where Superman and Supergirl go to the 31st century and meet the Legion of the Superheroes. And we get the appearance of Mon-El. So we saw Mon-El in Supergirl the series, and he was just part of Supergirl's everyday life. But I think he was a love interest at first, but then he kind of left the show for a bit, and he was a good guy. But we're gonna get into the big plot twist at the end with Mon-El. But Mon-El shows Supergirl around, and Supergirl decides she wants to stay as Superman's doing his own thing. And the rest of the movie is Supergirl with the Legion of Superheroes. But we did get a quick scene with Batman, as there's these invaders that invade a Star Labs, and they end up killing all the people, but is stopped by Batman. But as this is going on, Supergirl is shown the hallways and the tour of the 31st century, but it's interrupted when she runs into Brainiac 5. So Brainiac 5 is really good in this movie. I don't know, I just like his, he acts like a know-it-all at first, but then we see he has more of a heart, as he's trying to not be like the other Brainiacs. But Supergirl and Brainiac get into a fight over because she jumped to conclusions, and they end up get a warning from the leaders at the time, because the other higher leaders of the Legion of the Superheroes have been off-world, and they're getting suspicious of where they are. But as this is going on, Kara seems to somewhat adjust to this, but she's still not getting along with Brainiac 5, as she's very suspicious about him. But at the middle of the night, it looks like Brainiac 5 is doing something. But Supergirl investigates, but it looks like Brainiac 5 is framed for doing something he didn't do. As it's revealed, like, someone broke into the Legion of Superheroes. It's the soldiers from what we saw earlier with Batman. And it turns out they're trying to break into this vault. And they think Brainiac 5 is doing it just to be as bad as the other Brainiacs. And we even get a history of the Brainiacs, which is cool. But as this is going on, I think one of the members gets murdered. Is this one girl named, I think her name is Multiple Girl, I think her name is. Sorry, I don't really remember the names. But Supergirl catches on to what's going on, and she basically is forced to team up with Brainiac 5. And they try to go through the vault of the thing with Mon-El. But as this is going on, they have to solve some, like, puzzle. And the Brainiac 5, with his intellect, he's able to figure it out. But they find out that there's this secret group. I think they're called, I forget what they're called, but, like, they want something that has to do with Brainiac. But the big plot twist is revealed that Mon-El is actually the bad guy. He's part of this cult, as he stabs Supergirl with a kryptonite knife, and it's quite graphic. Like, I was like, whoa, that just came out of nowhere. And but Brainiac manages to get Supergirl out of there, and he manages to say that he has feelings for her, but he manages to heal her wounds with some like advanced tech. But the reason why this cult is trying to get into this vault, because they're trying to unleash another Brainiac who's revealed to have been alive this whole time. And apparently the other ones that were mentioned were apparently fused into one Brainiac, and it's quite graphic to look at. It's just like, ooh. But I think what manages to save the day, because he wants to conquer and resurrect every Brainiac, evil one, but the other ones that have been fused manages to try to escape him, and I think Brainiac dies and explodes, and it's like, it's so gross. Like, we even see, like, his spine come out, like, ugh. But I think Supergirl and the rest of the Legion and Brainiac 5 managed to take down Mon-El, and they brought justice to the Legion, who is revealed they've been captured this whole time, but they managed to return with the help of Supergirl. And I think Supergirl and Brainiac 5 end up dating now. And that's the Legion of the Superheroes. But that isn't the end of the movie, as we get a post-credits scene where Superman is talking to Kara how things are going. And that's where Supergirl shows Brainiac 5 and how excited they are. But Superman ends the call, and Batman shows up, and he's like, you didn't tell them about what's been going on. As they see, there's a giant hole in the ground. But it's interrupted when Batman and Superman are beamed from the sky. And I was like so worried they died at this moment. But it turns out they were sent to Warworld, and that's where we see Justice League Warworld. And now we're getting Crisis on Infinite Earths. It's weird I'm reviewing these movies out of order, but I'm reviewing these movies from my least favorite of the year to my favorite. So that's Legion of the Superheroes. I think it was a really good movie. Like, I like how it explores the different futuristic characters. And yeah, the villain plot twist is pretty good. I do like Meg Donnelly as Supergirl, because now she's my new favorite crush. Like, I really like how they explored Supergirl, since I feel we've lacked her in animations ever since the Justice League Unlimited. So I think this is probably one of my favorite Supergirls, for sure. The DCAU one is obviously amazing too. But I can't wait to review Crisis on Infinite Earths next year for my 2024 reviews. But anyway, I probably give this movie like a 7 out of 10. So that being said, thanks for watching, and see you guys next time.